Go ahead and close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears. Allow the muscles in your face to droop down. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Go ahead and open your eyes. Hello and welcome to Mindful Moves. I am here again with a beautiful episode. My name is Dan and I'm so grateful to lead you through this. And this episode is something that is one of my late learnings on my path. And I am sure that more than one person struggles with this. And yes, I'm here to speak about implementing this tool, but I'm also here to talk about the mindset and the connotations with this word. So firstly, I'm going to say congratulations. We did a whole month of learning a new nervous system regulation tool, which was breathing. We did that for a whole month in the last 4 weeks, and I'd love to hear your experiences, how it went, and I hope that you can feel the effects already. So moving on with breath, now implemented into your life. It's been a whole month, so it's been a slow and steady, consistent way of bringing in a new habit. So I'm so proud of you, and I'm really excited to move on to the next one too. Slow and steady really does the trick with these habits. And yeah, regulated nervous system just makes you feel really good and at peace and gives you the ability to live a really nice, aware life, and you can be mindful through these moments. So our next topic is going to be movement. Now, I don't know if this is just my personal experience. I have an inkling that it's not, because I have spoken to many women specifically. I've spoken to some men too around this topic. And it seems that there's a general consensus that exercise and movement is only deemed necessary for your physical appearance. And for a long time, I used to believe this. I used to correlate running, exercising, hardcore exercise with losing weight, keeping slim and trim, burning extra calories, and all of these were just part of my education. I grew up in a South African school, and I just went with what everybody was speaking about as you go. I mean, you're young and you're learning, and how you learn is through talk, through conversation, making friends do what they do. And a lot of the time, the conversations revolved around, in my case, food, exercise, and why you want to be smaller in this world, and why you need to be losing weight constantly. And so in my world, I believed that exercise was almost like a punishment for if you weren't eating healthy, or if you ate too much sugar, or if you just needed to cut some calories, instead of what it truly is. And if you have a similar mindset, just know that I've been through there, and it can 100% shift. And this is a beautiful way to change that shift. I used to also go through phases. I don't know if this resonates, but I used to go through phases of, okay, I'm going to be really sporty and active. And then I did that for a while, and then I would fade off into something else. So I'd do it for like a month or two, feel really good about myself, but I'd kind of do it to an extreme level that I would burn myself out physically. So then it just wasn't sustainable, and I'd kind of drift off. And this was the case for a few repetitions in my life. And it's only now that I've found consistency, habit building, and actually coming back to the forefront of why we do anything. What does this serve me? And why is it important? And I think this is the big shift that happened for me. And movement, yes, of course, it is totally okay to have aesthetic goals. It's okay to want to look after your physical appearance in whatever way you see fit. But what I have shifted from is a lack mentality that I am not enough and I need to do more exercise, to exercise is the biggest gift that I can give myself, not only for my physical body, that's one part, but the biggest part for me is the mental help it gives you through your day. It builds resistance. And I'm going to go through the main points for me. So on the one hand, physical activity, whatever form you choose, I am not someone who's going to say, okay, you need to walk, you need to run, you need to go do strength training. I have my own little routine. As I say, this whole show is about your power and empowering you to do whatever feels best for you. And on the one side, it's the physical. And I think what's shifted even in the physical realm for me is it used to be about looking a certain way. And now I do it out of pure gratitude for my body. And honestly, the fact that if you are able to wake up in the day and just feel that gratitude for your body, you will feel more likely to want to look after your body. And you know that one of the things you can do is by moving. Your body is full of, we are made of energy and we need to be in motion and we feel better. There's physical benefits, of course, your brain, oh my God, the mental clarity that I feel if I have a consistent routine of movement. I personally, I'm a yoga instructor, so I love yoga, not really for the physical. I wouldn't even put it under my exercise category. That is such a deep, deep spiritual connection that I have there. But I move my body in that way. But my main source is going on long walks, doing strength training. These are things that really help me regulate my body because I had a hormone imbalance. And I think that this is the key point here. Some people thrive off going on long runs and going to Pilates, and some people thrive off going on long walks, and some people need to do HIIT workouts. It's just so dependent on your own body. So again, I'm here to emphasize the fact that please don't take what someone else is doing, put it in your life, and if it doesn't feel right, just keep it because they're doing it. It's so important to start cultivating this idea of, I am all-knowing. I know inside my body when it feels good. Tap into your intuition. Try out certain things. And this month, the challenge is really to shift your mindset around exercise and movement. I really want you to see it in a beautiful light. I want you to see it as a reward, as a thing that you can do to really look after yourself mentally and physically. The days that I don't exercise, I can feel it mentally. Physically, not so much. Mentally, I can feel it. That clarity isn't there. I don't feel like I have this clearness. It's a bit foggy. It's really on the days that I don't exercise. And for a long time, I used to, because of this connotation of, okay, I exercise because I want to lose weight or I want to look a certain way, I didn't implement it into my daily routine because it wasn't for that reason. And it's about creating a lifestyle around being active because you have this amazing human body. We're having a human experience, and how much joy does your body get from moving? And I'm not saying you need to implement an exercise routine. If you want to put on your favorite music and dance, I would highly recommend that. Again, do whatever feels good for you. I implore you to find something that works for you, but do not, again, take too long in the planning stage. Just start. Understand that you can start today. We're going to be doing this together for 4 weeks. Move your body every day for as long as you can fit time in. We all have different schedules. Some people are parents, some people are working 3 jobs, some people have a lot more time on their hands. And this is not a place of you need to be doing a certain amount every day. I want this to be really open-ended, but I want you to set your minimum and your maximum and decide how much time you're willing to put aside. And before everyone says, because I was like this, no, I don't have time, I've got too much to do, go back to your audit that you did of your life. What do you do from hour to hour? Okay, so you sleep for X amount of hours, let's say 6 to 8, you eat for 3, maybe you cook and clean for another 2, then you're at work. Process that number. What do you do with the rest of your time? What's going on in that time? Remember that in that time is where you build your character, and that's where your whole life sits, as we said in the last episode. So you get to decide how long. You get to decide what it means to you. And every day I implore you to exercise if you can. If your schedule doesn't allow for it, No problem. Fit in what works for you in the week. If 3 times a week works for now, that's okay. 4 times a week, no problem. What you're trying to do is find something that works so that it remains consistent. You don't want to fall off the wagon in 2 weeks because you put in too much by saying, okay, I need to exercise every single day for an hour. A lot of that is not sustainable, especially in the beginning. So for this first month, I want you to do 2 things. The first thing is ask yourself, what is your relationship with exercise? Is it positive? Is it negative? Do you see it as a negative thing you have to do and it's kind of annoying and you're like, oh, I need to do this? Or are you asking yourself, I get to exercise. I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky that I get to move my body. So first, investigate that relationship with exercises, with movement. Have a little think. What do you enjoy doing? If you're not sure, what did you enjoy doing as a kid? What did you like to do? Did you like to swim? Did you like to walk, move, dance, go to a ballet class, whatever it may be? I want you to just explore that option. And then just find some time in your week, in your day. Obviously, if you can do it every day for a short amount, like 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it may be, that's great. If you can't, if you can only do that 3 times a week, that's no problem. What we're aiming for is consistency. So I want you to implement this for the month. And through that, you're building up a routine for a lifestyle change. Please understand that through this process, and this is something that I didn't really realize until later in my journey, you will see your old life fade away and you start to embrace this new life, and it can be daunting. In the good moments, you notice your progress, your growth, all of that, but then you start changing, and then everything around you starts changing, and it can feel daunting mostly because of who we surround ourselves with and our identity, because we've had this identity for so long. Maybe you've been someone who's always loved to watch movies and you didn't really like to do that much exercise, and now all of a sudden maybe you start going to the gym 3 times a week and your husband says, what are you doing? And you now have to explain that this is a new identity thing. And at some stage you may face a bit of criticism. Now, I want you to know that this is nothing to do with you. A lot of people will project how they feel. So if you're from a household or your parents or whatever it may be, partner who is used to living in this level of life with you, if you start wanting better for yourself, if you start wanting to implement exercise, for an example, you may find that backlash starts to happen. And please note that this has nothing to do with you or your progress. This is just a projection. Other people feel a bit shocked or intimidated when someone who's always done what they have done together starts doing something different. It feels like you're saying to them, I'm better than you. But that's their interpretation. You're not saying that. You're saying, I love myself so much that I'm going to start implementing things that actually really bring me joy and bring me health and bring me clarity and peace. And so if you face this resistance, and I find a lot of it comes around exercise and movement, remember you're mourning your old identity. You're letting go. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel overwhelmed or not quite sure how to handle criticism. Look for the support. Look for support in community. Look for support in friends who have like-minded things. If you have a community of friends who only likes to go out and party, that's fine. And maybe none of them really enjoy exercise. But you know that one person, Brenda, let's call her, you know she likes to go on hikes on the weekend. You guys aren't super close. Get to know Brenda. Get to know her, go hike with her. It's really important that you surround yourself with like-minded people. And you don't have to have them in your physical reality. There's so many resources online nowadays. You just need to be consuming positive support, especially if you can't get that from your home environment. So I urge you to investigate this for this month with such an open heart, because I think that so many of us can get stuck on what we should be doing and why we should be doing it, instead of, what do I think? How does exercise make me feel? And for me, it's really been life-changing. It's helped me balance my hormones. It's given me clarity. I work better. I feel better. My brain is better. And a lot of people I speak to will say, yes, but I'm not even happy. I'm actually very sad. And now you're telling me I must move. And I did it for 2 weeks and it didn't make me happy. I want you to remember that there's different levels in life where you're at. And it changes constantly for everybody. Nobody is just always up here. Really, there's down days and there's up days. However, implementing these tools like the breath we did last month, movement we're doing this month, these tools will help you so that if you're down here, it can bring you to a neutral. And just being neutral is much better than being down here. So focus on that, especially on the hard days. Something that exercise has cultivated in my life is not only this clarity, the feel good of the mental and the physical, but it's built such a strong sense of confidence, because no matter how I feel, I show up for myself. I show up because I haven't always showed up for myself. And in the past, I used to really struggle with that. And now I feel I have this confidence. You're making a promise. You're pushing through that resistance that can feel really, really hard. And you know that if you miss one day, it's not the end of the world. And you know, sometimes that happens and life happens, but you always know that it's a lifestyle change and you're going back to it. And this gives you the sense of euphoria, and it gives you a real confidence in yourself. And if that's something you're looking to cultivate, I really recommend exercise as one of the resources you can use. In general, any habit that you build will build confidence in yourself, especially obviously a positive habit. I'm not speaking about anything negative now. If it's something that brings you peace, brings you joy, and brings you to a state of where you want to be, where you look up to a place and say, that's where I want to be in my life. When you start moving towards that life, it can feel so exciting. You feel a lot of happy emotion towards that, and your confidence is built. And I think confidence is the most important thing that any of us can cultivate, and we can do it without having to actively work on confidence, if that makes sense. I don't need you to stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself that you're the best at what you do, but if you are someone who does what they say they're going to do, that will automatically instill a deep confidence in yourself. So for me, it was exercise, because I was always someone who, for instance, liked to do a bunch of holistic things, and I used to implement them really well, especially if it wasn't exercise. And eventually I realized that it's not a phase. You don't phase in an exercise time in your life. It's a lifestyle. And I'm thinking also for my future self, I'm doing this now, even though it's delayed gratification. I know that I'm not going to reap the rewards right now, but my older self will. I'll be able to move. I'll be more agile. And I think that this is just a key element. Don't forget that you have the power. You have so many resources at your fingertips. You can reach out to anybody. If you're listening to a podcast, we have YouTube now. We've got Google. Like, in the past, this wasn't so easily accessible. We've got access to so many things now. Resources, people who will help us, information. I'm going to be sharing a blog post as well with more information about movement and the exact benefits. You can educate yourself. It all depends, again, on what type of life you want to live. And with that, I would like you to remember the light that you're constantly seeking outside is waiting to be acknowledged within. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here today, and I will see you next week. Good luck with your movement of the month. Whatever it may be, I really believe in you. Goodbye.